True Stories That Change You, Part 15. Kaunas, Lithuania, 1940. Chiune Sugihara was a Japanese foreign ministry official in Lithuania during the Second World War. An estimated 40,000 people at least live today because of him and his Sugihara's visas. In 1939, he became the vice consul of the Japanese consulate in Lithuania. A year later, the Second World War intensified. A huge number of Jewish refugees were trying to escape via Lithuania. The Japanese government had explicit instructions to only issue transit visas for those who had due immigration process, enough funds, and a final destination. Most refugees did not meet that criteria. Sugihara reached out to the Japanese ministry 3 times to help, but was denied each time. He did what he should do anyway, fully knowing the consequences he would face, encouraged by his wife. From July 18 to August 28 of 1940, when the consulate closed, Sugihara issued over 2,100 transit visas to Jewish refugees in an act of compassion and disobedience. He arranged with the Soviets for them to escape to Japan via the Trans-Siberian Railway. He handwrote the visas for sometimes 18 to 20 hours a day, issuing what would be a regular month's worth of visas each day. Many who were heads of households were also granted permission to take their families with them. Some sources say that as he was leaving after the consulate closed, he gave his seal to a refugee so that more visas could be made, although his son has refused that claim later. But according to witnesses, he was still writing visas on his way from the hotel to the train station and even out of the train window to crowds of refugees as the train was leaving. In the final moments, he even flung out blank sheets of paper with his seal and signature out into the crowd so that they could be turned into visas later, while apologizing for not being able to do more. The present-day estimates of their living descendants are as low as 40,000 and as high as 100,000. After reassignment to East Prussia and an 18-month Soviet imprisonment, he got back to Japan and worked different jobs to support his family. In 1968, 28 years later, an economic attaché to the Israeli embassy in Tokyo, who was also a Sugihara beneficiary, tracked him down. He visited Israel the following year and later was recognized by Israel's Holocaust Memorial Institution. The Japanese government officially restored his honor. There are streets in Lithuania and Israel named after him, even an asteroid. Parks, halls, port corners, gardens, stamps, and more were set up in many countries in his name, including the US, as well as several national honors from Lithuania, Poland, and Japan. In Lithuania, 2020 was the year of Chiune Sugihara. Sugihara's widow recalled being approached in Jerusalem in 1998 by tearful survivors with the yellow visas that her husband had signed for them. The work that man and his supportive wife carried out rippled through time, in disservice of the sovereignty, in service of humanity. Sugihara's own words, "I made up my mind not to wait for their reply. I knew that somebody would surely complain about me in the future, but I myself thought this would be the right thing to do. There is nothing wrong in saving many people's lives. The spirit of humanity, philanthropy, neighborly friendship. With this spirit, I ventured to do what I did, confronting this most difficult situation. And because of this reason, I went ahead with redoubled courage." Be inspired, be inspirational, be gentle with yourself.